Good morning, guys. I posted a video on my Audi's service, and I did promise I would be posting a video on my Jag service, what happened with the Jag. Now I apologize that I'm not showing you myself because I'm not actually sitting in my car. It's a little bit dark here in the garage and I don't really feel like pulling it out. So what happened with the Jag is it went in for its annual service, and I just want to open the hood. Man, this car smells so good inside. I mean, all I smell is leather inside here. It smells really nice. The car is actually quite dirty. It may look clean, but it's pretty dirty. So I had the car serviced. They did an oil change, and it wasn't a major service, it was just a minor service. I just thought I'd show you guys the engine. This is the V6, the 3-liter V6, and what they found was I complained to them about a noise that was coming from, well, I don't know, I could hear it inside the car when I was driving, and I thought it was actually the diff, and I read on a Jaguar forum where they actually said that the earlier XFs, you know, the pre-facelift, mine is a pre-facelift. I love, a lot of people don't really like these headlights, but I like them. I think it's a classic design. I love it. And the new one looks very good too, I must admit. They actually all look nice. I mean, I haven't seen an ugly Jag before. So anyway, I thought, they said on the forums that the diffs on these earlier models gave issues, and that you would actually find you get a diff whine. And I started hearing this whine, and it was getting progressively louder and louder and louder. So when I took it in now for its service, I said to them, do me a favor, it's not part of the maintenance plan, but service the diff. They didn't really want to do it. They said they do the Land Rovers and the, what do you call them, the Range Rovers and those SUVs. They do those, but they don't normally service the diffs on the Jags. And I said, well, I don't care. I would like them to service it anyway because I'm hearing this whining sound. So they said they'll get a technician to test drive the car. The technician test drove the car. They phoned me back and they said that the front wheel bearings needed replacing. So the maintenance plan covered the wheel bearings. I was very happy with that. I didn't have to pay for that, thank God, because it was the equivalent of just over $1,100 in total. So that was actually a nice saving for me, that I didn't have to pay for that. But I did still insist that they service the diff. And they serviced the diff much against their will, but they serviced it. They changed the diff oil for me. When I got the car back, it drove beautifully, and then I realized a couple of days later, and I already posted a video on that, but I realized a couple of days later the tweeter was not working on the driver's side. Wow, my dash is very dusty. So that tweeter was not working. I actually thought it was that there, but there's nothing in there. There's no speaker in there. I think the Meridian sound system has a tweeter or something in there, but there's a speaker there, and there's a speaker there, and there's one there, and then there's speakers around the back here with a subwoofer in the back. And anyway, so I did a video on removing the door panel in the car because I didn't actually know how to remove a door panel on this car. So I drove the car back and I was very happy with it. It drives beautifully now, and you know, I just want to give you guys a recap of all the things that have gone wrong with the car since I've had it. I've had the car now about a year and a half. It's got 91,000 kilometers on the clock, which is around about 58,000, 59,000 miles. So that mileage, you can expect some things to start going wrong. So the following things went wrong with the car in the time that I've had it. The first thing to go was the control arm. On the driver's side, it's like a huge control arm. This car is made, like all the components are massive on this thing. And but it was leaking. There's apparently in the little rubber socket that is situated inside the control arm, all the bushings have oil in them, and that's why the car is such a soft ride. And these bushings actually become withered with time, I guess, cold, hot air, and they perish and the oil leaks out. So that's what happened there. I found oil on the garage floor one morning and I thought, oh my God, my engine's leaking oil. And thank heavens it wasn't the engine. The car has no leaks whatsoever. It's pretty clean underneath. So I had to pay to do the warranty covered the driver's side, but I had to pay for the left side because they said they're only prepared to pay, or to cover faulty parts. So I had to pay for the left side because the dealer said to me, if you do the right, the left's going to fail soon, so you might as well just do them both now. I guess in hindsight I could have just waited for the left one to fail and let the warranty pay for that at that time. But I didn't really want to do that. For me, it's quite a schlep to take the car in every time because it's a very far distance to drive. It's 80 kilometers there and back. And when I called in to book the car in, and this is what I love about Jaguar, I don't even think Mercedes-Benz or BMW treat their customers like this, but I call in to book the car, and the first question she asks me is, can we drop a courtesy car off at your house and take your Jag and we'll give you a replacement Jag? Now bear in mind, this car is not a brand new car. It's quite a few years old. But they are still prepared to give me a brand new Jaguar courtesy car and take my car, service it, and then bring it back to my house and drop it off and collect their car back. And I declined that service because I have the Audi to use, so there was no point in having another car standing around. And then they asked, can they come and collect my Jag with a second driver, and then they will drop the car off when they're done? And I declined that as well because, and then the third option obviously was me driving the car down there and talking to them face to face, and then their driver dropping me off at home and then collecting me when my car was ready. They had the car for about a week, and they had to order the wheel bearings for the front, so that took a couple of days to arrive. And I didn't really mind because I don't drive the car every day, and I mean the last time I drove this car was a week ago. It was last week Monday I drove this car, and it's been standing here in the garage ever since. It's now a week later, and I haven't driven it. So I do need to make an effort to drive the car more. I do love driving the car. It's a fantastic car to drive, and it's really, really smooth and comfortable. I absolutely love this car. It's just so sexy. I mean, wherever I go, and it just, I get lots of looks. People love the black wheels with, the dark color, of the car. And then, anyway, the control arms went faulty. They were replaced. Then I heard a squeaking sound coming from the front. When the car was idling, there was a squeaking sound coming right from the front here. And I took the car into them. They said to me it was the idler pulley. They replaced the idler pulley, warranty paid for it. I got the car back, and a couple of days later I was still hearing the squeak. So I took it back to them and I said it's still making that same sound. It then turned out, and in fact I found coolant. In fact, I'll just show you guys. And I found coolant leaking. In fact, it wasn't leaking, it was spraying all over the show. It turned out to be a bad water pump, and the water pump was actually squeaking, but I found coolant all over here. So if you hear a squeaking sound when your Jag's idling and you don't know what it is and you suspect it's that idler pulley there, it's not. Look for coolant spraying over here. Look for any spray in this area over here. There's some ground wires here from the headlight. It's probably a water pump that's gone out. Now, I don't know what the water pump cost because I didn't pay for it. The maintenance plan covered that. And I bought an aftermarket maintenance plan when I bought the car from Westland Motors in Johannesburg. I had the car shipped down here after I bought it to Port Elizabeth, which is about 1,400 kilometers away. It's about 1,000 miles away. So this car lived in a very high altitude area most of its life, and now it's at sea level. And I think, you know, in the first 6 months the car's components were struggling with the change in altitude. I don't know, but I'm just saying that altitude can affect the operation of a car, I guess, as I found. And then the window motor was faulty. They had to replace the window motor. They also had to do a campaign on the interior lights, you know, the touch sensitive lights, because the middle one was coming on by itself. This one here was actually coming on by itself while I would drive. It would just spontaneously start coming on. And, you know, they're touch sensitive. So what they did is there's like a coppery type grease that they have to put on some diodes and connectors. And with the car now being at sea level, I think the sea air corroded some of the connectors where, you know, the bulbs actually connect to the wiring. So, and then there's like a little plate or something that they had to put inside there. It's like a little kit that I had to pay for. Now I had to pay for that myself. It wasn't covered by the maintenance plan. I just want to see. This is, oh yeah, these are the service documents. When you get your car back, they actually give you this beautiful, you know, invoice book with your invoices in it. And I don't know what this is. Something about, this is about the service levels. No one actually phoned me from Jaguar to ask how the service was, but you know, it was great. I mean, the service is always great. They're saying that my next service is due at July 2017 or 106,000 kilometers. I doubt my car will ever reach that mileage because I don't drive it that much. But they checked over there, they checked oil leak at diff area. Well, they looked for oil leaks at the diff area. They didn't find any. They said there was just the normal like sweating, which is normal. They checked the side shaft seals. They said slight oil sweat on the right hand side. Check both. So they say they cleaned off oil sweat, no leak found. You know, so, and then there's the JLM, the oil final drive. That was for the what do you call it, the diff. And then I also had 2 batteries replaced, which I paid for on both remotes, because the car was actually telling me on the screen that the remote control batteries were not working properly. So I got all these invoices. I got a whole bunch of invoices from them, most of which the maintenance plan covered, and then I had to pay some in for the stuff that I wanted them to do on the car that was not covered by the plan. And so yeah, I'm very happy with the work they did. And then in addition to the window failing and the light, there was a noise coming from the front when I would back the car out of the garage, right there by the driveway. When I turned the steering wheel with my foot on the brake, there'd be this clanking metal sound coming from the wheels, the front wheels, and they actually found that it was this plate over here. It's called a brake anti-rattle clip. You can see a part of it there. It's quite a substantial piece of equipment. So it's this whole thing here, that there. and they were actually just worn. So these are new ones that they've put on about a year ago. They were rattling, and well, not rattling, but they were actually moving every time you apply the brake and you turn the wheel. Because obviously when you turn the wheels actually are turning slightly, and the brake disc wants to turn with it. So you know, so the brake pads were moving and then making that metal thing, you know, clank against the brake caliper. So they replaced that, but they actually sent a technician to my house to come and listen to the noise here in my driveway. This is the kind of service these guys give you. Audi Center would never do that, but I still love Audi Center, even though I did have bad service on that one occasion. And by the way, that lady has been let go. They treated me so badly, they let her go. So anyway, they sent a technician here. He listened to the sound and immediately pointed to those things there, and he said that's what's at fault. So they took the car away at the same, right then and there. The technician drove it back to the dealer, replaced them, and they dropped my car off here at home, and that was it. So those are the only things that have gone wrong with the car. Driving the car, it drives phenomenally good. I'm very, very happy with it. I just want to mention that one thing that I think that might be on its way out is the sensor on the door handle here, because when the car is locked and I try to open the door, it doesn't always open. It's opening now, and you can lock it there, but sometimes it's a bit sticky, and I'm just going to wait for it to fail. I'm not going to replace it. So that's the Jags service in a nutshell. I hope it helped you guys, and if you enjoyed the video and you enjoy cars like I do, you know, like, subscribe and share with, you know, other people who also love cars and who especially love Jaguars or Audis, old Audis. And thanks for watching.